I'm online. Hello. Yes, I'm online. Uh, yes, I see members here. Are you on in the call, ma'am? Okay, thank you.
Oh, now she has joined. I can see her now. Erinda, just a minute.
Okay, shall I stop sharing?
No, it's just stop sharing. Let members come. Let them a little welcome.
Oh,
And then.
sure, for sure. Yes, I'm here. Take your time.
Nice having you over.
Thank you so much.
For months we have been planning.
Yes, yes. Follow-ups from you made me work.
Puravi?
Yeah,
Puravi?
I think the recording has started.
I know, but Puravi...
Yes, Ranjana.
Puravi, you can... there are about 16 people, I think.
Sorry?
How many people have joined? Can you see?
Yeah, 18. 18.
Okay, then I think, Puravi, it's time that you began with the introduction.
Okay. Friends, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We can.
I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Erinda Shah to you, who is an Albanian national and is a visionary leader in mental health and social policy. Now, she has dedicated her life to transforming mental health and social welfare systems across the world. 15 years ago, in June 2019, she arrived in India with a vision to build a more inclusive, compassionate society where mental health and child welfare receive the attention they deserve. Her contributions to Tamil Nadu's social landscape have been nothing short of extraordinary. During the action flood, Erinda worked tirelessly to provide support, ensuring humanitarian aid reaching the most vulnerable communities. Her commitment to child protection and social policy led her to work extensively with UNICEF Tamil Nadu and Kerala, where she played a pivotal role in shaping child-sensitive social protection frameworks. She was instrumental in mapping child welfare systems and influencing the state action plan for children in Tamil Nadu, advocating for policies that prioritize the welfare of marginalized children. As a technical consultant for UNICEF, she conducted groundbreaking research on residential homes for children, ensuring the development of minimum service standards to protect their rights. She has shown acumen in crafting the resource book on child abuse for multidisciplinary professionals in India, providing crucial insights and guidance for professionals tackling child abuse across the country. Beyond policy and research, Erinda is a powerful voice in the field of mental health. She founded MHFA India, which is Mental Health First Aid in India, an organization dedicated to training individuals at workplaces in mental health literacy and first aid, empowering thousands to provide timely support. Her work has reshaped corporate mental health strategies, ensuring the psychological well-being seen as a fundamental priority in workplaces across India. He is, of course, a sought-after speaker and spoken at various platforms. I'm not getting into the details. And
Ma'am,
She
Vijaya.
stands as a powerful reminder of what visionary leadership can achieve in the realms of mental health, child protection, and social justice. So
Ma'am,
over to you, Dr. Shah. And I would
yeah,
request
thank you so
everyone to
much.
please, I would request everyone to please mute uh,
Can I
their
just give my
audio
welcome?
so that she doesn't get disturbed. Welcome to you,
Can I
ma'am.
just can I just give a little welcome, Purvi?
Yes, Ranjana.
Okay.
Please, Madam President, if you can say a few words.
Okay. Good evening, Erinda. It's a pleasure to have you with us. It's been a long time that we have been in touch, and I really wanted, having gone through your CV, I truly wanted that my sisters from all over the country gets a chance to listen to you. Because Naina Shah spoke so much about you. I was very impressed because what I felt in this caption of yours that mental health is a problem across all ages. But the fact that geriatrics, they have their own problems today. You know, the influencing factors of loneliness, tragedy, depression, death, etc., that really takes its toll on the elderly women. I'm not saying elderly men are not affected, but more so the women who probably have less chance or less scope to express themselves, and the family members also take them for granted and not leading them to the right source for treatment. Over and above this, I was very impressed to see that you are dealing with something called child abuse, which is rampant in India today. Although we call ourselves a very progressive nation, all these things are happening with us, which is actually breaking into the backbone of our mental stability and mental equilibrium. So when we were young, you will recall, all of you here will recall, how many cases of depression and suicide did we hear of? But with the complexities of the society, and especially that of globalization, innumerable things are happening to women. So the first thing that struck me when I heard about you and read through your CV is that we in IFUWA, we hardly have members below the age of 35, but we have a lot in the senior citizen category. And all of them are not lonely, but each one of us have the possibility of developing some kind of mental ill health, for which we seek your guidance and your advice as to how to stay as healthy as possible in today's complex society. Thank you very much, Erinda. Over to you now.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. All the words were so right from you in the situation, the state that mental health, but as well, especially geriatric part of society is going through. With the demographic changes of India, which are very rapid, definitely the challenges are not faced only by youngsters that are out there in the market, but especially by the third age to whom challenges are much different and unexpected, including technology, loneliness, the movement, the massive movement of population from rural to urban. So those are some elements that definitely has affected the life, the well-being of third age. So thank you so much for the kind words. I remain humble in front of all of you. The experience that you carry, personal and professional one. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to be here, and I hope I bring something of value to you. Together with my team, we have definitely put ourselves to look a bit more in depth on relationship between geriatric and mental health. I brought studies, research, and data here. I brought certain aspects coming from the life in the life stages with focus women. But the idea is that it's not about me informing my thought only, my thoughts and opinion, but it's very, very important that we have here evidence-based data that helps us think through and take action as what needs to be done in order to help the elderly, and how should we reduce the risk factors towards mental health. So allow me to share my PPT. It's quite detailed, so you can follow me in the screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. So so we will go through data and statistics and facts and situation. If there is any question, I would maybe recommend to have those at the end. But if my voice is not audible for any reason, I'm taking this from home, and of course I have my kids around. So if I'm not audible or clear or my the PPT is not visible, please do raise your hand and stop me in between. So thank you and welcome again. Welcome to Mental Health First Aid India. I'll just give you a bit of it. What is Mental Health First Aid? Is an initiative, a program that aims to educate public in mental health. So while we have professionals that are educated to provide care and therapy to people when they need that, and those are mainly in stages where somebody is ill and diagnosed, it is very important that as public we carry some responsibility to be able to prevent, to identify early signs and symptoms of poor mental health, and therefore help ourselves and others around us. So that's the idea. The language that we deliver those programs is very simple, so that it's okay for people with concerns to be picked up at early stages. I would request everybody to mute if it's possible, so that I don't get drawn my attention on uh, maybe somebody is trying to speak and so on. So this is Mental Health First Aid program, we run program in India since 8 years, and we train across public and corporates and university, college and universities, so on. But it's a global program, 25 years old, and based on evidence and research. Now let me start with mental health. Okay, and I would ask you if it's possible, though I brought the definition here, what mental health is. It's so, and that's why we start in every program that we do. We discuss with people, what is mental health according to you? So the definition that WHO says is part of health, is a status of well-being. Okay, and it encompasses beyond just the well-being, the process of treatment, the process of rehabilitation, so on. And in our country, definitely the individual's social, cultural factors that are set, that we live in day to day, have a huge impact and are factors that influence the mental health of everyone. So one thing that is so crucial for all of us to
Madam,
agree is that
Dr. Shah, 1 minute, please. Dr. Daljit Kaur, will you please mute yourself? Dr.
Okay,
Daljit
okay,
Kaur,
ma'am.
please mute yourself. Yes, ma'am, please carry on.
yeah, no, thank you so much. No problem. So one thing that we all need to agree is that mental health is not mental illness. While mental illness is a medical condition, just like physical illness, mental health is a status of well-being. And that status of well-being has to do with our capacities to function day to day. I'm able to get up, to enjoy a good sleep, to enjoy the meal, to participate, to contribute, to meet my friends, to go to office, take decision. So that day-to-day activities is what mental well-being is, isn't it? If for some days, for some reason, some days I feel tired, exhausted. I feel like anything that I have to do and that I used to do was easy before. Now it looks like I'm climbing a mountain. Then our mental health is affected. Our emotional health is affected. Now I'll request you to think. Have you been in some days like that? Have you found yourself in days that don't feel all right? Even if there are physical pain, still mentally and emotionally not feeling to the moment that I'm in mood to do my things as I wish to do before. That simple is mental health. Why I'm explaining this? Because people feel that mental health is very complex. We can't understand it. Mental health is in the minds of people. We can't see it. We can't feel it. But actually, it's not like that. Mental health is our attitude, our behavior, our decision making, our participation, our capacities to deliver our duties every day, our capacity to enjoy the life that we are living. That's simple, and we can see that. So we can understand, I mean, we may not be able to read the mind of somebody, but we can see that somebody, our friend, for example, a friend of ours, while meet usually, we see that she's not in the good mood, she's upset, or she doesn't want any longer to join with us, to go for a coffee or a chai or go out of the house and so on. That's where we have to understand that there's something going on in their mental health, and it's good to reach out and support. So this is mental health, and I'd like to bring this as the first understanding that we all agree, we all understand, and we are in the same page. Now let's go ahead with some more information. Just a minute to let know my kids to be a bit more low in their conversation. Okay, thank you. So let me go ahead. I hope the definition and understanding of mental health. Now, I'm before I open this, I'd like to say that when we talk about mental health, sometimes it may be triggering. Triggering means that it can bring us emotions. It may feel us uncomfortable. We may see whatever I'm going to talk here. You may feel like, oh, I feel that way. Oh, maybe I'm suffering. Oh, maybe I'm not well. So I'd like you to take the entire information as just an awareness. Okay? We are not diagnosing here, and you shouldn't self-diagnose at all. Okay? We all go through uh, days that we are upset, we are in low mood, maybe not happy, maybe sometimes we are agitated. It's okay. We all go through these days. We all go through these days and we are able to get back. So as I run through this session, if you are feeling a bit uncomfortable, kindly I would suggest maybe walk a bit, breathe in and breathe out, try to feel comfortable, because this is not a process where you need to feel like, oh, I'm experiencing. Believe me, including myself, we all go through difficult thought process, emotion process. So just try to feel relaxed and enjoy the data, enjoy the awareness, and maybe use this as a resource for what can we do further within your association to push more the agenda for the well-being of elderly, especially with focused women. So I hope I have your agreement as we see the data that are not so so beautiful, but it's good to check the reality. So let me just talk to you about. I'll start with a case study. So the case study is done in Bangalore. It's done by a very renowned researcher, Dr. Prabha Chandra. She is focused on women. Okay, and she studies women in multiple dimensions, but with focus on mental health. So she studied elderly and the association between the old age and as well the depression and suicidal ideation. Where do they stand? What is the relation between two? So 100 men and 100 women. But interestingly, what data says is that 32% of elderly experience abuse, with women at a higher rate, 38%, as compared to men. Depression affects 45% of abused individuals. So among the abused ones, 45% of them experience depression due to abuse. So that's therefore abuse need to be reduced a lot. With women, 52% compared to men. Reveal that women are at 1.5 times more likely to be depressed, feeling worthless. So 60% were unsupported and 45% of them highlighting that need for targeting mental health support for the geriatric women in India. So this study, okay, it's much larger, but we have just brought some data. It's quite alarming. It's like it tells us, hey, you have to do something. Hey, we need to focus on that. But is it that mental health concern starts only in the elder age, in this age? Not necessarily. As women in India, we are more disadvantaged. Okay, it's for me, I'm 15 years here, and I am married to an Indian, like you see my last name, Shah. I am so much part of the community. And I'm so much in touch in and understanding the cultural and the dynamics of gender issues and expectation in our society. So throughout the life cycle, the challenges for women start as they are either born or even before that to survival, to all the stages as you see right now here. So let me just, I have divided in some age group. Until 12 years old, approximately 10% of Indian girls exhibit symptoms. Dr. Veena, I would kindly request your uh, navigating in your phone, but it is creating marks on my screen. Not too sure if others could see. Yeah. So,
Yes, I can see it.
yeah. So, yes. So, 10% of Indian girls exhibit anxiety disorder. Okay, expectations, societal expectation are what brings more challenges. Early stressors, persistent worriness about pleasing the family, being the adapt to the expectation of the community and the cultural norms. Of course, favoring the male siblings. Of course, those becomes more disturbance as well school avoidance. Now, in an age of adolescence, what follows? 13 to 19, 20 years, we see that 20% of Indian adolescent girls are affected by depression, correlating this with hormonal changes and academic pressure. So those are some of which leads to more sadness, withdrawal trigger from exam stress, and so on. In a young adulthood, you know very well that women in India engage in marriage much younger than males. So the obligation and the responsibilities in a new family, adaptation, the responsibility as a very young girl to having children, though her body might not be strong enough. So going through those drastic changes in her body, but at the same time, cultural expectation as a new mother or as a new wife are quite high. So therefore, in this age bracket, 1.45 times higher prevalence of anxiety disorders. Anxiety is quite prevalent, is absolutely not considered, is seen as part of life. You can deal with that, and therefore it doesn't go, it goes unaddressed completely. And this, the entire, all these stories, whatever data you see, all these life cycle effects accumulates and becomes the early sign and symptoms of proper mental illness as we go in adulthood and then in a much elder age. Midlife 40 to 59, 23% of Indian women report depressive symptoms. Depression and anxiety, by data, by statistics, is more prevalent globally, not only in India. In our situation, in our country, the situation becomes much more difficult, much more prevalent due to all cultural and situation that we have. So here, then it becomes more complex with managing menopauses and other age-related concerns. Now, reaching to early seniority, 60 to 69, approximately 15% of women of this age face anxiety disorder. As I said, anxiety is the most common one. Depression is the most common. And they don't, women don't experience, everybody, but especially as well women, they don't experience like depression or anxiety. They are just coexisting. In some days you feel very low and in mood, uninterested on things. And in some days you feel like, oh, okay, living in isolation, you start feeling anxious. So that's how it affects one after the other. Late seniority, of course, that things becomes more complex. Why? Things become more complex because dementia prevalence increases. Being women outage men living without a partner, maybe not having support, family support, as I said, with the demographic changes where we are less and less having larger families. We have more nuclear families. You see parents living on their own, and on one, when one is no longer there, then the other has to cope on their own. Therefore, loneliness, anxiety towards falling sick, anxiety towards living expenditures becomes very high at this age. Let me just go further down. more numbers that are more solid when it comes to mental disorder directly, not in the age related, but as it is as women. So 14% of Indian women are affected by mental disorders. Okay, and this has to do very closely linked with gender-based stressors and domestic violence. This is what tops and what is the highest risk factor to poor mental health of women. 25% of mental illness issues rise when among especially elderly female population. It's increasing. There is more rise of mental health issues, while earlier were not reported maybe, or were just observed by the family, observed as like the family was serving as the bouncing back, the support system. Now those problems are emerging, and more elderly are reporting mental health concerns, especially dementia. We'll touch it. 34.4 prevalence of women of depression is among elderly women in India. So this clubbed together with chronic illness, physical illness, worsen the situation and makes the elderly much more prone to experiencing much more in depth rather than someone who is experiencing depression but is at a younger age. 47.7 of rural women exhibit cognitive impairment, memory decline, confusion, undetected, and those are especially undetected in rural space. Okay, so that's what I brought. Let's see what are the common challenges. I have mentioned it a bit, but dementia is one of the top one that women experience at the elderly. Dementia prevalence is around 7.4 among those of over 60. Okay, depression is around 21.9 and anxiety 15.3. Let me go down. Here I have not touched severe mental illness. Anxiety and depression are common mental illness. So those are common mental illness that anyone can experience. But severe mental illness that start a bit more early than at the elderly age. So that's why the prevalence is a bit low. Affects 1 to 2 Indian elderly as we see the data. Stigma is high. Elders are not expected to complain on their emotional and mental health. But yes, they are expected to report physical illness, but by far people or family member understand that dementia, Alzheimer, depression, anxiety are common mental illness that are so prevalent among elderly. And I know by myself in my family where people couldn't, I mean, not directly in the family I live with, but the larger family where the member of family was developing dementia, but none of the family member could identify that this was dementia. Everybody was thinking, oh, she's becoming erratic, she's becoming with tantrum, she's getting old, we don't know how to manage. But finally, after a meeting with a doctor, I informed that, hey, this is something more serious than just getting old. You need to look after that. And therefore, it got diagnosed with dementia. So stigma, misunderstanding, misconception, having less interest in investing in health of elderly leads to illnesses becoming or the early sign and symptom worsening. And then it goes to a level where there's not much return. It's just maintaining it. Let me go. How does it happen? Gender-based violence that starts at a very young age in our country and across the world. Let me be honest. And I do tell to everybody, oh, this is India. No, of course that we have more complex situation here. But gender-based violence is across the world, even in developed countries. What do we see in developed country compared to our countries? That there is more reporting, there is more awareness, there is more readiness from people to pick up the phone and report, to go there and say, like, enough, this is enough. Okay, otherwise, what happened in our country? Failing to have a supportive system. Women stay in that abuse. They choose to be part of that rather than stopping it and going out of it. Why? Because financial situation is very poor, and the society is not ready, like their biological family is not ready to receive the woman back after a failed marriage. Challenges in taking care of children, especially when families have children, the decision become much more complex. So all those complexity definitely makes it much tougher in our society to support women, and they to feel powerful that, hey, I don't want to be in this violence. I need to go away. Why? Because this doesn't reduce my dignity, but it reduces my mental health, my life, my emotional health. So approximately 31.9% of married Indian women report experiencing domestic violence. It is more. And we all know it. I don't need to highlight it, but you know better than me that the abuse goes beyond just the physical abuse, emotional, psychological, financial abuse. But yet, and this doesn't matter what education you have, what community you belong, what strata you are, it is across the level to the highest one that there is psychological, financial control, and all this. Caregiving is parts and parcel of women. It's like we are born with that obligation. Caring is belongs to women, is expected by women, and there is no way for women to say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not the only one in this house. I shouldn't be the one caring alone. Okay, so but 62% of caregivers in India are women, and should be more than that. And 28% of them reporting burnout, social isolation, particularly when caring at the elder age. Socioeconomic pressure, what we see, the 65% of Indian population living below the poverty line, and the financial stressors are much higher among women as compared to men. Family dynamics, traditional role is expected more by women, as we say. Therefore, women not being there on the market have a dependency. In case the breadwinner, the man, is no longer there, or they are no longer married to them, they have huge dependency. And therefore, that's why that vicious cycle of I'm better in violence and in abuse, and in this situation, rather than outside there alone with no money, exposed with no safety and security. Geriatric vulnerability, 20% of elderly women report loneliness and amplifying mental health risk. Good. So what are the key barriers? As we mentioned, stigma is at the highest. Avoid help. 70% of women avoid help due to stigma. As I said, we are not expected to reach out, to seek help, to complain. Even if complain is not taken seriously, it will pass. It's okay. So those are less preoccupied to spend on women and elderly rather than on a man. Access. For many, access is denied or it's not there because especially rural part, even in urban, like I said, the preoccupation towards women is less investing financially rather as compared to a man. Mobility. The more elderly, the less mobile people are due to their physical health deterioration. So therefore, people, especially in rural and as well in urban, report less capacity to move out, to be mobile, to live an active life. And of course, support, as I mentioned earlier, the dynamics at home has changed. Now both husband and wife are out for work. Elderlies are expected, especially the women, are expected to take care of children of their children, their grandchildren. So they are again tied up in the cycle of cooking, taking care, and leaving themselves out of priority. Good. Risk factors, widowhood, it increases. Women which is a widow or a divorcee, the mental health problem increases a lot. Interestingly, I was studying when I was working with UNICEF, I was studying the child-sensitive social protection system for Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And when I visited Kerala at the time, so what I understood is that while there is more education across other states, you can see Kerala is one of the among most educated, and there is a good GDP. The social problem were at very high level, and one of the resources was because there are many at a high level single women because of the migration of men out of Kerala, out of the country. Women were single. Okay, and that was leading to multiple issues from health to being exposed to abuse from their partners that they have their second partner or to another husband that they are trying to get married, their children as well, care for them. It didn't matter the money. It mattered the process or the fact that they are alone in their life to take care of themselves, exposed, but as well take care of children. Poverty, as we said, financially uh, is women are less. Chronic illness. Now, culturally, let's accept as society, we do not have that culture of prevention. It's absolutely very clear. Why? Because even if you see the health system, we have so much developed the hospital, the IP care, inpatient care, rather than community care. Why? Because the culture of regularly visiting the general practitioner is not there. We wait for the illness to come. Oh, I have a pain. I'm not well. The system that we have in India is almost everything privatized, 60% privatized. So you have the access to go to the private care, pay money, and visit access. But if you go to UK, for example, you cannot visit a specialist just because you wish the day you said, I'm in pain and I go to a specialist. You have to go through a system of visiting the general practitioner. If he or she thinks that you can, then you have to be in queue to wait for the specialist. But our system, given that our culture towards health is predominantly reactive rather than proactive in preventive, rather than preventing, we see only to take care when we are sick, then therefore the chronic illness are quite prevalent at a young age, which become more severe as it becomes elderly. Substance abuse. You may know, but in our country, the highest prevalence of mental illness is substance use disorder. If depression,
population, latest population.
Pardon me. Somebody was asking a question.
Please mute yourselves. Please don't disturb the speaker.
We take questions
Please
later.
mute yourselves.
No problem. If there is a question, you can either write it in the chat. Let me just see. Or wait to the end so that...
No, we'll wait till the end. Please don't
Okay.
disturb the speaker right now.
Fine. Thank you. So let me take that last, whoever was speaking. So thank you so much for your understanding. Substance use disorder is a mental illness. Okay, many don't know. It's part of mental illness definition by Mental Health Care Act 2017. There is an act that talks about the access to care for mental illness. And in that, you can see the definition, the substance use disorder is a mental illness. And if you see the statistics, if depression is 3%, 4%, 5%, and therefore, and others and anxiety more or less on the same level, substance use disorder goes to 22% prevalence in a lifetime. Can you imagine this 22% in numbers, in absolute numbers? We have crores of people struggling with substance use disorder. It starts with the highest is tobacco, and it goes then with alcohol, which is led mainly by men, and then are the other drugs and all those things. Now, is substance use some cultural expected and it's okay for men to drink and it's fine? No, it's not that simple. Substance use disorder is a complex issue that affects not only the person's life, but as well people around them. And 60% of abuse among women, which are reported, are done, including sexual abuse, are done under the effect of substance. So the matter goes much deeper. So a man experience substance use at home, and it doesn't happen only in elderly, it happens at a younger age. And a woman living with them and children living in that family. Abuse is rampant. Economy is poor. So, of course, the mental health of women is affected. Of course, the mental health of children is affected. So, substance use lead to a health decline in any aspect of life or well-being in overall. And women, though they are not largely consumer or part of substance use disorder, it's somewhere, it's much lower, definitely, than men. Yet again, they suffer the effect, the consequences, the adverse effect due to somebody experience substance abuse. Unemployment, the retirement in India is 60, 63, something like that in this age, where with the longevity now, people live longer. Of course, at that age, everybody wants to still be active. Being active is key to being healthy. But do we have that space? With the changes, sudden changes of technology. Even myself, if I wouldn't pick up on technology, if I wouldn't be a millennial, a Gen X, I will not be able to cope with the technology that has come so fast and be able to be a competitive person in the labor market. So that has put many elderly into a space where they are not able to compete. Now the tradition of work has changed. If our parents worked so much traditionally to go high in the hierarchy and to do career and earn a certain amount, youngsters are entering immediately to that level with a full speed, immediately to a high level of payment. And those conflicts that we see when we work with corporates a lot, they're like the much senior, they're like, I don't understand the Gen Z. What is their understanding? They're so weak, but they are so fast in technology, but they don't have our experience. So those conflicts bring a lot of insecurities, which lead as well to either unemployment or, of course, reducing as well capacity to be active in life. What could be some resilience tool that we should use and enforce? Family is the key resource of resilience. Family support, as much as possible to have a stabilized family, to have support from family, to have the connection with families constantly healthy. Communication to them, being verbal and asking for the needs that you have as elderly, talking about your thoughts and emotion, asking for support are key to enhancing this. Education. Education, yes, as I said, preventive education is poor. People are too much in their speed of life. It's very difficult to stop and take training and say like, okay, how do I take care of an elderly at home? Nobody think about it. What do I do? How do I give first aid at home when an elderly will need? So those are absolutely not part of the agenda. But it's so important that families take note, especially families with elderly, and every family has its elderlies, whether living together or living the next community. It's important to be prepared on how to manage elderlies at home, how to be ready to support them. Hobbies for you and as well even you as individual is important for you to get knowledge of what is expected in this age, what are the signs and symptoms, what should you do about it, what should you avoid from your routine, like sleeping, the exercises, walking, the food habits around it, and hobbies, being in touch with other people, going out, participating, communicating, doing new things. It doesn't matter what's the age. Going and learning an instrument, participating in a group that enriches you, doing some memory games, being part of such clubs, I think are very healthy. I know when I came to India, I could see those kitty groups where women will get together and go out for lunch once a month. I'm like, okay, is that all? How about things that can energize you? How about things that can bring some thought process? How about talking concerns that you share and you are peer-to-peer support to another, rather than discussing where you had the holidays and where did you buy clothes or whatever those conversations are. How do we engage in depth conversation that are supportive to one another? Let me go further. What should we do? Screening at early stages is very important. Not only when we see the symptoms, but regular screening. With age, we know that once in a year, I have to do the checkup. Now, what happened? Even if I ask my mom, I say, "How are you?" Of course, she's a cancer survivor, and she's very active. She goes for a walk every day. Okay, we women have quite a good resilience. I compare with my father. My father doesn't have so much problems, but he's more lazing around. I'm telling, why don't you go with mom for a walk? Oh no, it's okay. I'm sitting here. Well, my mom is quite active, touch wood. And I do tell, did you go for your regular checkup? Hey, it's okay. It's fine. It's important that your health is good. For us, it's no problem. That's what I'm like, no, you should go. I'm not there. I don't live with my parents, but we make sure among three of us, my sister and my brother that live there, we have to make sure that they go and do the regular checkup. It doesn't matter whether they have symptoms or not. That's very important. Even if your children may not be in priority, of course, that they wish to remind them. It doesn't matter at all. Counseling looks like a luxury item. It looks like too far away. I mean, we have lived life. What counseling will do to me? But believe me, I hear a lot of voice.
Yourself, yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
Madam Yamuna Devi, please mute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Counseling, going to a therapist is not luxury item for a third age. Absolutely not. You need that conversation. You have lived a lot. You have faced a lot. You have been strong a lot. But it's so important to deal with thoughts and emotion at this stage of life that you are. So going for therapy, going for counseling is like self-discovery rather than treating an illness. So look at it with these lenses rather than feeling shy or embarrassed. I have dealt with so much. Why should a counseling? Why should I listen some youngster telling to me how to deal with my life? It's a space, safe space for you to talk your thoughts and emotion, things that are still with you, within you, in your mind, to resolve them. It's a very important and it's very good tool to use. I encourage you to check on whether there is availability among geriatric health, whether they're counseling, not necessarily on hospitals, but reaching out to therapists on your own and taking session. Community programs, unfortunately in India, these are very less, but these are very important. Peer-to-peer support are very, very crucial, very crucial. Now we see the trend that there are more seniors home, where elderlies are choosing not to live alone in their home, but rather go in a senior's house where there are other members, when there is health care, where there is somebody that looks after them, and they can meet some people of their age and engage. It's completely different space, different experience. I know for many communities in India would feel like embarrassment. Why should my parent go and live there? But your age has its own life and going enjoy that. And if visiting a community care, you may not be willing to sleep there, but visiting, making a point that every once a week, visiting a geriatric care where you make new friends, understand their problems, share your own problems, participate in activities. It doesn't matter whether it's dance or discussion or whatever that is. For as long as it makes you active and happy, please enjoy that. Education, as I mentioned early, helplines, have them in your hand, have them handy. What are the helplines in my state that has to do with elderly? And there are. I would suggest, and then I'll send to Ranjana ma'am later, some helplines that has to do with elderly. That is the helpline for mental health concern, that are national one. Keep it handy. If you feel lonely, just give a call. There are people that are educated to just listen to you. Do that. There are many things that we don't wish to tell even to our best friends or to our children, but to a stranger, it's fine. And when they are educated and professional on how to deal and how to listen to you, it's the better. So I'll send those helplines to you when I'm at office, so you can share among your members. What should we do? Definitely, it's important to build awareness. I don't know. I'm not too sure. All this data made you more anxious. I apologize for that, and that's why I prepared you in advance. I'm sure you have your own resilience and your own coping mechanisms of how to deal with this information and things in life. But awareness is very important. Awareness of where you seek help, what are good things for you to do, where are the members of family and friends that can support you, everything. What are lifestyles that support your health right now, and priorities are very important for you to know, discuss, share among each other, and practice them. Okay? We need to do more research, that's for sure. And as you are part of universities, you have the luxury to guide your students or universities that are member to do more and invest more in geriatric studies. Okay? More studies around it, more qualitative studies, more quantitative studies, because India is aging. We proudly say everywhere around the world we have young generation, we have skills, but India in actually is aging with the policies that government has for more than 25 years on we 2 hours one. And this is funny because when I came to India, I could see this labeled everywhere in some back of the car or trucks. And I thought, okay, they are sharing the same car. But then when I involved more on social care, social services, and with UNICEF, I realized that this is the policy of government where one child policy it was encouraged. And then I studied a bit more that people are going on and having a second child, especially on girl child policies are there in South India, in Tamil Nadu, those are encouraged. But the support is minimizes when people have more than one child. And clubbed with that was the sterilization program, which went rampant across India, especially among people with mental health concerns, and especially in the low education communities where sterilization was done without even a consent or without even people understanding what's going on. Why? Just to fill the target. So with this focus, India's population is going to age soon. It's not that young as we propagate. Therefore, we need to get ready for it. And that's why it's so important that policies to change. I'll send to you what are policies that are around it. I'll send it to Ranjana ma'am separately. More policies around it. Does government has to do? Yes, they have to do. But even in your community, you can encourage policies, rules, and regulation for how you protect and deal with elderly. I live in a community, we are 8 blocks here. And the association is so strong, looking and addressing children and elderly. So clearly, we have a big community of elderly, and every initiative in our community is definitely seen through lenses of how does this affect elderly in our community. So promote those, encourage those in order to have this spoken and promoted more. Action, of course, are important. Action starts with us as individuals. Let's not be expecting that government will change things tomorrow. We have to take actions and control for our own life first, and then for our community. So actions are something that need to be initiated at our level and then being demanded from community. So I've reached at the end with this information that I have. We thought that is important to bring for all of you. I am open to question. I hope this was clear and understandable on the how mental health and geriatric is so close to one another. They just walk along together. It's nothing only physical, but is a lot emotional and mental. So thank you so much for being very attentive and listening to me. So,
Thanks
yeah,
so much, Erinda. People are going to be ready with questions.
yes, I'm open to questions, and I'm seeing the
You
chat.
can just close your
Meenakshi,
screen.
Meenakshi has a question. Meenakshi, please go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm stopped sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm reading here. I have a Dr. Meenakshi question. My question is, how do reproductive health, childbirth, menstruation, menopause affect women's mental well-being? Dr. Meenakshi, I'm so curious to understand, you are a doctor by title, or you are a clinical doctor?
By
By title, ma'am.
By title. Okay, good. Thank you so much. So definitely the way physiologically how we are built as women has a huge impact on our mental health. Hormones, you know very well, you've gone through that journey, has an impact in that. It definitely, because it's taken so lightly. Oh, women issues. But the effect and the impact of mood swings, the pains in our body while, especially in cycle, the flash is hot and cold, and the mood that changes of being unwilling to participate, contribute, and be there like actively like that before, definitely it reduces the quality of life. And that leads to worsening the mental health and leading to depression. Like, okay, I'm not worth. Now I have lost my periods, so I should no longer be as well, for example, sexually active. There's nothing like that. So in one debate that we were having with some of my friends in Albania, the debate was why it is embarrassing for women at 60 when their husbands are no longer alive, to have a partner. Why not? We are people with feelings, with emotions. Why should we feel ashamed and embarrassed about having a companion? As children, you are living outside, you are leaving us alone, or you are no longer being with parents. Why should I live alone? So it's so important to understand that the entire change and the community expectations as women, uh, and as going through the cycle of menstruation, as losing them, your position and your expectation changes. So it is as much as physiological, that much social and cultural influence that leads to mental health concerns and well-being. So I hope this gave an answer to you, Dr. Meenakshi.
Thank you so
Erinda,
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't want to enter to avoid a lot of jargon on medical perspective, but giving it a much more global understanding.
Erinda, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure, Dr.
You have traveled extensively in this country. Now, on
Yes.
a comparative scale, uh, the urban women of India, never mind north, south, wherever, are far more enlightened and educated. But do you think that the women in the villages of India, wherever, whichever state you say, they also suffer from depression, they also suffer from dementia, or is it a peculiar trait of the urban women?
Well, Dr. Ranjana ma'am, mental health problem, mental illness are more prevalent in urban areas by and large. Okay, so why? Because in urban area, the stressors, the lifestyle is completely different. And the more the stressor, the higher the capacity or the likelihood to develop mental illness. Now, when we go to rural areas have different challenges when it comes to relation to mental illness. Uh, with them is first lack of access to services. So when the problem starts, it's if in urban you have larger access and you can address it at early stages, in rural it goes undetected and unresolved. Second has to do with misconception. Okay, it has to do with misconception because just a minute. Drisana, mommy, can you close the door, Babu? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, please close the door. Thank you. In rural, misconceptions are very high when it comes to mental illness. People, when they developing, for example, psychosis or mood, or they are crying a lot, women are crying without any reason, they don't think it's a mental health problem. It's something to do, it's gone crazy, mad, it's possessed, it's paying for the life that they had and done wrong early. There are lots of misconception around which women struggle with in rural areas.
Yeah.
So while in rural areas, uh, women suffer less, the prevalence is less as compared to urban. In rural area, the challenges are for different reasons present. Misconception, access to care, and the pressure of communities are. While they enjoy a much larger support of the family because the family is still larger, and I think that in rural area, because of their lifestyle, they are mainly farmers, they are more actively physically. Mm? Those problems might be less present. But of course, the stresses of poverty, and we know that there is a lot of suicide among farmers. So,
Yes.
for different reasons, the mental health concerns somewhere heightens and somewhere more low. But yes, urban is much more prone to mental illness.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Ranjan.
Yeah, that's a study we usually see in the newspapers. There's more hazard to urban life than to the rural. Having much more educated in the urban areas than the rural.
Reporting is higher as well,
And
definitely.
reporting is higher. I think the coping strategies adopted by the urban women may not always be able to help them to go through. There's a breakdown.
Yes, see, as I said, it's the life has changed too fast. Technology has brought a challenge that is not easy to cope with. I mean, it's something that, and plus the lifestyle is different. If um, uh, your parents lived with you, okay, now 1 minute. Um, Now that is not highly expected that children of nowadays will take care of parents.
No, they're
So
into the jobs.
yeah, so that expectations, you talk to parents and they say like, I don't expect my children to take care of me tomorrow, while we are supposed to definitely take care of of our parents, isn't it? So
Yes.
things have changed so much. And the coping of such new factors were not muscled up at a younger age. We
Mm,
didn't know things will change this way. So therefore,
exactly.
urbans become much higher
Much more.
at risk as compared to rural, which still have that closed lifestyle that we used to have before.
Thank you. Thank you lots. Are there any
Dr.
more
Sh-
questions?
Yeah, Dr. Shah, I just wanted to know your percentage of dementia which you are showing, does it also include Alzheimer's?
You're muted.
I'm sorry, I'm muted because girls are going
No,
around.
I am not. Oh, you are muted, is it?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
No,
not
I'm
muted.
muted. I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm muted.
Okay, I
So
wanted
this
to
this
know
pertain to dementia alone.
alone
Only
and all.
dementia alone, yes. Dementia alone, it's a more common term than Alzheimer. Okay, Alzheimer it seems a more clinical term, but definitely both sort of boil in the same perspective. While because it has to do with the factors of loss of memory and capacity to self-care and so on. So these are dementia data. I will, what I'll do, I'll share, I have all the references down. I'll share with you this presentation and the references and policies and whatever it is that my team can collect together or numbers, helplines, and share it with you so you can have it as resources
Sure.
and
Yeah,
background for more further discussion.
that's great. Are there any more questions, Puravi?
I don't see them on the chat box. Is there
So there
anybody
is
else?
no, I just say only thank you notes. Thank you so much. I'm
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
humble on this note. I
Yeah,
thank you
it's a
so
lot
much
of
for giving me this
lots
space.
of eye-opening for us also.
It's been a very good lecture. Yes.
Very good lecture. Very good. Malti, how about you? You deal with adolescents?
You are on mute.
Muted.
Technology challenges.
I had a question.
Yes.
What are the prevalent policies prevalent for the elderly with regards to mental health that we
Well,
already have?
yes, there are. See, we have the health mission in India. There is the health program, National Health Program, and in National Health Program, multiple policies and actions are defined. So within that is the programs about elderly. There are the programs about mental health, about non-communicable diseases, and so on. Now, government, the central government, but definitely even as the country is big, different states respond in different ways. There is a national level, and I'll send you the link. There are helplines only for elderly. There are certain action and policy. There are health insurance. Okay, government has insured in that aspect, especially for health to access to public health. I'm not sure how many of you access public health, but in public health care, definitely they have priority in receiving free of cost services. I will share with you much more in detail, but the policies and actions on elderly are part of the health mission and are integrated a bit within the community primary healthcare centers, which are mainly in rural area as compared to uh, 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 urban area. As well, there is district mental health program, which elderly can access with focus on elderly, but the priority is mainly now the entire attention is taken by awareness, especially in addiction, substance abuse, which is very rampant with not only alcohol, drugs, but as well social media addiction among youngsters. But as elderly, you can access as well district mental health program.
Do you have any document which we can upload on our website with
I
all
will
these
share it with you.
details?
I'll share with you.
Yes, because then we can upload it. Yeah, be very helpful for our
I will give you a
members.
full handful of what I've discussed here, researches. I'll make a list of policies. I'll give you the pages. I'll give you the helplines.
Yeah, helpline
So
would be
that
very
you
useful.
can share as resources.
One
Yeah.
last question to you. You have been dealing with this for a very long time. What is the success rate you have achieved when dealing with these mental ill health conditions?
See, I do not work directly now for the moment since I run MHFA India. I don't work in clinic anymore because
Okay.
running mental health first aid, I'm the manager. I created it from scratch, so my time goes a lot on this perspective. I would invite you if you have LinkedIn, or as well, I'll send you the YouTube of Mental Health First Aid India. We do work closely with NGOs who provide direct care. Just 2 days back, we did a live conversation and we spoke about schizophrenia, which is a severe mental illness. Now, what happened? To answer to your question, you can watch that. We had a user, a person diagnosed with schizophrenia. We have a person who was a carer, a lady. We had two psychiatrists in the conversation, and the human resources who spoke about how can we employ people with mental illness. Now, to tell you about success rate, just like physical health, if you pick up those signs and symptoms at early stages, it is absolutely likely that it can be cured and the person goes back to their normal life. But just like physical illness, that you have chronic illness, you have diabetic that can go chronic, cancer, and other health issues, cardiac issues that are chronic physical illness, the same can as well be with mental illness. There are psychosis that are severe mental illness that can be chronic. People live with them lifelong. Can be major depressive disorder. People live with that lifelong. But what happened? When you have diabetic, what do? You stop eating Nadu. You go and run much more. You become more active, isn't it? You change your life around it. You are more cautious about it. You go for checkup much more of. The same in mental illness. When somebody is diagnosed with anxiety or depression, becoming aware, acknowledging, seeking help, reaching out for health support plays a huge role in leading a life despite being diagnosed with mental illness, which you are fulfilled. Why? Because You don't allow the symptom to disturb you. Just like you don't allow the diabetic norms to get high, the same in mental illness. You don't allow symptoms of depression or anxiety to interfere with your life.
Thank you.
Prevention, early intervention are absolutely key, just like in physical illness as well as in mental illness.
Okay. So if there are no more questions, Gomodidi, may I request you for the vote of thanks?
Certainly, certainly. On behalf of Dr. Ranjana Banerjee and all conveners and committee members of IFUA Central Committee, I have the immense pleasure to give the final vote of thanks this evening. And what a wonderful session we have had with Erinda Shah, who has taken us on a wide spectrum of awareness building, something that is there and we are aware of, but never have had such an exposure to what mental illness is or what it can lead to if we don't take the precaution for it at the earliest stage. I thank Ranjana Banerjee for having arranged this program as our last session for our term of office. We have, had an extraordinary term of office of 5 years. It is unprecedented because of the global pandemic that was brought down on us from 2020 March. And 5 years is a period where we asked for it because we wanted not to give a dull report at the end of our term of office. So we asked for the extension, and my goodness, I think that we have really extended ourselves to have having such wonderful programs in spite of being at home through Zoom sessions. And this last one, I think, has been totally brilliant. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for having attended this session. And for those who have missed, I'm sorry for them. Thank you very much, Erinda.
Thank you.
All the
Thank you
best
so
to
much.
you.
Before Dr. Shah leaves, can everybody please switch on their videos? I can then take a screenshot. Please switch on your videos.
Switch on your videos, everybody.
And the big smile.
Ragita, where are you? She's the one who's booked this Zoom program.
Everybody, please be on screen.
Please switch on your mobiles. I mean your videos.
Camera.
Galaxy M30. Charuta's phone. Kanchan Bade, Veena Sharma.
Everyone, let's take a last shot.
Shakuntala, Yamuna Devi. Anyway, I couldn't get the ones who haven't really heard me. Doesn't matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
nice
you so much.
meeting
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Ravi,
Thank you.
on my behalf for pitching in, and please convey my thanks to Lata also. Thanks, Puravi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ranjana.
and good night and enjoy life.
Good night.
Thank you.